Hi and welcome. Today I'm making a art tag and let's get started. So I start with a piece of mixed media paper cut on my Cricut to the size that I wanted for my art tag, and this is a stamp. I don't recall where I got it. It's either Amazon or Rubber Dance, I'm not sure. And so I just take some black StazOn ink and I'm stamping the card. And it's just the one stamp I use. I just reposition it in different ways and getting it to cover the entire tag. Cleaning my stamp off with a baby wipe. And now I'm going to use some distress inks. I start with Seedless Preserves. It's an Oxide stamp. And Peeled Paint, which is also an Oxide stamp. Put a little bit on my mat and spray some water and just start smooshing the tag into the paint. I like to leave some white space, but I want to get some nice vivid color. And I'm going to take a wet brush and just kind of move some of it around. Gonna dry that real good, and then I'm gonna spray on some frayed burlap just to get in some of the areas that are white. And I have this stencil, it's kind of ovals. It's just one I cut on my Cricut, and I'm just removing some of the ink with a baby wipe. It leaves a little bit of pattern and just adds some texture. Don't remember moving it around that much. And now I'm taking some walnut stain and just buffing the edges. And actually going to use one of my blender tools and darken a little bit inside the edge. Okay, I'm sprayed it with a fixative here, and so it's all sealed in. Anything touched up or anything will stay. And I'm going to be stamping this dragonfly stamp with the seedless preserves, and I think that's just cardstock. Either that or it's mixed media scrap, but it's just a scrap I had, and if I come back quick enough I can put some embossing powder on it, and it will emboss nicely and it will have a nice color, because the embossing powder I use is translucent, so you'll be able to see the color through it. So now I'm just gonna snip this part and emboss it with my heat tool. See how nice and vivid it ended up being, and I'm just gonna cut it out. And I'm gonna give it a spritz of this frayed burlap, just so that the white edges are not white, and because it's got the embossing on, I can just lift it off with a baby wipe from the face of the stamp. Now I'm going to add some stamping, and I have this large number set, so I'm just going to arrange some numbers on a block and stamp it onto that old book page. There's no relevance to these numbers, it's just 3 numbers. I'm going to do that with StazOn ink and black. And then just tear the page. And because the stamp is kind of going for a grungy, distressed look, I'm going to go ahead and spray those numbers, or actually I think I smash those numbers into some of that frayed burlap. And I gotta dry it, and once it's dry, then I'm just going to use my Tombow glue stick and glue it on. I have a tickle in my throat, so I'm trying not to let that keep me from going on. And I'm going to add a little more stamping. I love this number stamp. It's a vertical line of numbers, and I use it a lot. And so I'm just sticking it on the side here, a couple rows of it. And I don't want the second row to be all the numbers, so I don't ink up all the numbers. I think it needs just a little more. So this piece was from an old magazine, and I'm just going to add that in on the side. I dry it up, but actually I think it needs a little more darkness to it. So I spray it with, I think that's walnut stain. And once it's dry, I can glue it on. Before I glue on that dragonfly, I'm going to go ahead and trim those papers to size. I've kind of folded the wings up just a tad, and I'm going to put some glue down the body of the dragonfly. And I didn't have any twine, so I grabbed a piece of raffia. Need to get me some twine. And now that it's all down, I'm just going to put a layer of Liquitex matte varnish. Keep it all in place. And because I already used the fixative, I don't have to worry about the distress ink that was on the tag. And then I have a sentiment. It's very simple, small. It says create. And just seal that. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it and you're inspired to create some art. Please give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, and you all have a great day.